Hi, this is Samantha Matemba, and I am studying my Master's in Biodiversity Informatics, where I'm carrying out my research, where I'm studying the impacts of riverine flow regimes and aquatic biodiversity in Afro-montane ecosystem. In this case, my study area is Ruo River, which is located within Mulanje Mountain Forest Reserve. So the main objectives of this study are to collect baseline data on the occurrence of macroinvertebrates and river flow data, as well as to collect water parameters.
The study uses Ruo River to investigate river flow regimes' impacts on aquatic biodiversity. Constrained in an Afro-montane region as her study area, Ruo River originates on Mulanje Mountain, about 2,550 meters above sea level, and flows down several tea estates in Mulanje, including the famous Lugeri Tea Estate. The tea estate uses organic fertilizers that potentially impact aquatic biodiversity.
Greetings from Mulanje Mountain top, 2,055 meters up. This is right where Ruo River starts. This is the source. So we have been sampling for macroinvertebrate species and river flow data to see the relationship of the river flow and the types of macroinvertebrates that we are finding. So this morning we've managed to measure river flow and collect macroinvertebrate samples, which we have identified, and we have different families from Trichoptera, Diptera, and beetles, and Ephemeroptera. So yeah, we've identified those and we've measured river flow. So the next step is to analyze the data and see the relationship of the river flow to the types of macroinvertebrates that we're finding, as well as the water quality parameters that we measured, which include pH, temperature, total dissolved substances, and electrical conductivity. So this research has been ongoing. It's seasonal. So we are sampling the wet season now. We also have data for the summer season. So we are going to compare these on different courses of the river from our upper stream, which is this one. So this will tell a story on the diversity of the macroinvertebrates and the types of families that we have found.
In addition, and of special importance, the Mulanje Mountain Conservation Trust installed a powerhouse at the bottom of the mountain, where it abstracts water from the Ruo River for hydropower generation, supporting communities in Mulanje and surrounding areas. While this is an important ecosystem service, Samantha's research is unpacking the cause effect brought by changes in water abstraction from the Ruo River on aquatic biodiversity. Similarly, it is the combined effects of water abstraction and associated pollution by agricultural activities that are worrisome, and no existing studies have unraveled these concerns.
So this is the middle stream of Ruo River, which has been determined for this research study, where we are collecting river flow data macroinvertebrates, organisms, and water parameters. So a comparison will be made as to the relationship of the river flow and the microorganisms that we are finding, and also the water parameters.
Her study has been centered on the collection of aquatic microinvertebrates in the upper reaches of the river as a reference area, middle reaches, and downstream.
My supervisors for this research are Dr. Emmanuel Vellemu and Mrs. Ruo River.
Hi everybody, my name is Emmanuel Vellemu. I'm a water quality specialist at the Malawi University of Science and Technology, and here we are is on the Mulanje Mountain Forest Reserve, and this is where one of my students, Samantha Matemba, is doing her research, looking at the relationship between the flow of the river, in this case Ruo, and its impacts on aquatic biodiversity. The whole essence is to collect baseline data, because we do lack data to inform decisions or policies, even management of the aquatic resources within the Mulanje Mountain. And of course other parts of Malawi in the Afro-Montane regions. So we thought it wise that we should collect the data through this research that she's conducting, and specifically choosing Ruo River because there's a huge anthropogenic activity taking place there, which is the hydropower electricity generation, supplying to the communities that side. So we know that flow is affected in that regard because of the abstraction of the huge volumes of water. And once you abstract that water, then we know that it should have some impacts on the aquatic biodiversity, be it abundance, diversity, and even distribution. So she's looking at the occurrences across along the river, and she's sampling. She's got 3 points she's looking at: downstream, middle stream, and the upper stream, which is the source of Ruo River. And that's why we actually this side. And yesterday she was busy sampling on the downside there and the middle stream, so that we can have a picture of what is happening. So the upper stream is more like a reference point where we know that there's no abstraction taking place. So looking at the biodiversity occurrences that side and doing comparisons with what is happening in the middle stream, because the abstraction is taking place in the middle stream. And then further downstream, what is happening to Ruo River because of the electricity generation. And in addition to that, she's also looking at the quality of the river itself further downstream, because we know now that there are other anthropogenic activities, in this case the tea plantations. These guys, these factories in the States, they do apply fertilizers, we do know that, and we know that salts are actually toxic to aquatic organisms. So later on she will be doing that assessment where she will compare now the water quality across the two areas. That's the middle stream and downstream. So all these, the exact pressures on the aquatic resources, and in our case it's aquatic biodiversity, which is often neglected in our research. Most of the time we do research, in the cities there. We've got a lot of data that side, but in the Afro-Montane regions, we actually don't have data when it comes to aquatic life. So we thought this is very important, and we are so thankful to her funders, which is the JRS Biodiversity Foundation in the United States, and also she got some funding, some grant from Kenya, the Data Science Africa project. So we're really excited and looking forward to what will come out of this research.
Ruo River is a tributary of the Shire River that feeds into the Zambezi River in Mozambique. Thus, her research informs policy advice and management of this important aquatic resource by balancing resource protection and use.